Suddenly, there was thunder and lightning outside the plane. A man, looking panicked, took out a syringe and injected himself with something that seemed like insulin. Then he suddenly unbuckled his seatbelt and rushed towards the restroom. A flight attendant approached him, trying to get him back to his seat, but when he turned around, he completely terrified her. The man then vomited a large amount of unknown mucus. The inside of the plane instantly turned chaotic, with all the passengers becoming like zombies. Yet, the plane continued to fly normally. Lisa suddenly received a call about an international flight having an accident at Logan Airport, and she needed to rush over immediately. Just as Lisa left, her boyfriend John also received a call. Meanwhile, Charlie informed Lisa that the plane had lost contact with the control tower for 3 hours, and there were originally 147 passengers on board. Now, there were large amounts of bloodstains on the windows, and there were no signs of life inside the plane. Given the seriousness of the situation, Washington dispatched Agent Brody to uncover the truth. When they boarded the plane, they witnessed a horrifying scene. Only skeletons remained, and the cabin was filled with a large amount of unknown mucus. After some investigation, a security guard reported seeing 2 suspicious Middle Eastern men handing a suitcase to a white man. Brody asked Lisa to look into it, and although she was reluctant, she went. She and her boyfriend John arrived at the Wankai warehouse. The two, being in a romantic relationship, happily clinked glasses after confessing to each other. Inside the warehouse, there were various strange-looking small animals and computers running data. While Lisa was outside making a call, a man opened the roller door from behind. Upon seeing John, he immediately ran. At the exit, the man pressed a few numbers on his phone. Then the warehouse exploded. Lisa woke up in the hospital. Her injuries were not serious, but John was infected with a laboratory-made compound. The CDC had already sent experts. However, the experts said they had never seen such a situation before. For now, they could only use medication to keep John in a coma. Lisa found online that a mad scientist, Dr. Bay, might be able to explain what happened on the plane. Years ago, Dr. Bay's assistant suddenly disappeared, leading people to suspect he experimented on the assistant. Due to his eccentric ideas, he has been confined in a mental hospital for 17 years. Now, only direct relatives are allowed to visit him. Dr. Bay has a son named Peter, whose IQ is as higher than the rooftop by 50, started in middle school, didn't wear a skirt, wandered around, worked as a firefighter, a dock worker, a university chemistry teacher, and was caught forging a degree from MIT. Now, in the Middle East, trying to trick others into signing a billion-dollar deal. Lisa explained the reason, but Peter didn't plan to help. Lisa had to use her trump card. The criminal information I have on you could put your dad in jail for life. On the plane, Lisa told Peter that Dr. Bay had participated in a secret U.S. military experiment project, mainly in the field of fringe science, such as mind control, teleportation, out-of-body experiences, invisibility, genetic mutation, resurrection, and more. With the help of Dr. Bay's son, Peter, Lisa met Dr. Bay. Drive Bay spoke incoherently, talking about the food here one moment and John's condition the next. He said it's not that it can be treated, but he needs to see the situation first. To leave here, Peter's consent is needed. Under Lisa's pressure, Peter reluctantly agreed. On the plane, an unknown situation suddenly occurred. Inside the cabin, none of the 147 passengers survived. To find out the truth, Agent Lisa Fubla called on Dr. Bay, who had been in a mental hospital for 17 years. Dr. Bay recalled that he once shared a lab with William. This made his son Peter find it amusing. 2 people who once worked together, one became the world's richest man, the other a mental patient. At this time, John was already completely transparent, with muscles and internal organs clearly visible. Dr. Bay took samples, intending to take them back to the lab. But his lab was closed 17 years ago. Upon hearing this, Dr. Bay lost his temper. To save her boyfriend John's life, Lisa had to successfully request permission from her superiors. The lab's usage rights were restored, and back in the lab, Dr. Bay was filled with emotion. He needed a 2-year-old cow, which had to be purebred, weighing about 850 pounds, with an average fat content of 2.37. Peter explained to Lisa that because humans and cows only have a few DNA differences, Lisa asked her assistant to arrange it. Dr. Bay's response was that through research, he discovered only a few segments of DNA differ. Lisa had her assistant arrange it, and Dr. Bay's response was that through research, he discovered. This is related to the biochemical experiments by the Department of Defense during the Vietnam War in 1972. The incident on the plane originated from this project. John was only infected with the raw materials from the lab, not the finished product. We just need to synthesize an antidote to save John. The prerequisite is to obtain the previous lab's product catalog, but it was all burned in the explosion. The suspect is still at large, and only John has seen his appearance. Given the current rate of deterioration, John has less than 24 hours left. Lisa felt very disappointed. Dr. Bay suggested another idea, using a prominent transmission system to achieve dream sharing. Simply put, Lisa could communicate with the comatose John while in a coma herself to find out the suspect's appearance. Moreover, Dr. Bay had used this technology to extract information from a corpse before. As long as the death was within 6 hours, it could be done. The prerequisite is that Lisa needs to be immersed in a tank filled with a large amount of hallucinogens. Peter thinks it's too dangerous. Lisa is willing to try it to save her boyfriend John's life. Then, John was taken to the lab. Wires were attached to Lisa's body, and an anesthetic was injected into her neck. A magnetic carbon needle was then inserted into her neck. Afterward, she jumped into the tank. This woman, covered in wires, was lying in a large tank. Then, someone put a lid on it. Inside the tank, Lisa gradually fell into a coma and lost consciousness. As the drugs took effect, their brainwaves began to synchronize. Lisa started to react a bit, and in the dream, she asked questions around her. The surrounding scenes kept changing. When their brainwaves were completely synchronized, they met in the dream. Lisa, through John's eyes, saw the suspect's appearance, and a computer simulation created a facial model. The image was then searched based on facial data, and they quickly found the suspect Morgan's information. But he was a passenger on the crashed plane. Could he have special abilities? At this point, someone found out he had a twin brother, Richard. This means the person in the warehouse that day was Richard, but the records only had his work address, not his home address. Richard's former employer was William, who had once shared a lab with Dr. Bay. Lisa went to William's company to investigate Nina, claiming that 3 months ago, Richard was arrested after taking company confidential information out, and after the company reported it to the Department of Justice. The company immediately fired Richard. Lisa received another shocking piece of news. The woman in front of her, Nina, was actually Dr. Bay's assistant who disappeared years ago. At that time, she unfortunately got cancer, and it was William's company that saved her. Nina handed Richard's information to Lisa and warned her to be careful. Lisa led a team to Richard's residence to arrest him. However, Richard escaped through a tunnel. Lisa and Peter quickly chased after him. After a thrilling street chase, Richard was finally caught. Despite Lisa's gentle interrogation, she couldn't get a single word out of him. Then Peter entered the interrogation room and, after some psychological tactics and a bit of force, Richard finally revealed the name of the chemical product. Dr. Bay quickly worked on the formula based on the name. Agent Brody told Lisa that the incident on the plane was far more terrifying than a simple terrorist act. In the past 9 months, there have been 36 incidents similar to this flight. For example, in the past few months, 46 children who disappeared in the same year have reappeared. Another example is a fisherman by the sea reported a plane flying low, emitting high-frequency waves that shattered all the windows. An hour later, a tsunami caused by an 8.7 magnitude earthquake hit the same location, claiming 83,000 lives. Brody shared these events hoping Lisa would work for him, but Lisa directly refused. Dr. Bay injected John with Peter's antidote. John quickly regained consciousness. He was then transferred to the hospital. Lisa went to visit Richard in the same hospital and asked him why he did it. Richard explained that he was coerced by Lisa's colleague and had recorded all the phone calls. The tapes were buried in his house. Lisa found the tapes, and the voice on them was familiar. It was her boyfriend John, the one she had just saved. Lisa immediately sensed danger. In the hospital, John got up from his bed, removed all the wires, and used his agent identity to enter Richard's room, where he smothered him with a pillow. Lisa arrived at the hospital just in time to see John trying to drive away. She quickly got into her car and chased after him. The two engaged in a fast and furious-style streetcar chase, and John's car flew into the air. When Lisa reached John, he was already on his last breath. Lisa asked him who he was working for, and John only said, "Think carefully, why did Bra Edaun send you to investigate the warehouse?" Then, he passed away. Her good boyfriend was actually involved with the killer and suddenly died without any clear reason. Lisa was about to break down. In the car, her colleague Charlie told Lisa that work is not the same as it was 10 years ago. Our superiors are being secretive about the cases we investigate, which only means one thing. We have been phased out. Lisa hoped that Peter and Dr. Bay would stay. Peter wanted to know what happened. Dr. Bay told Peter that he and William conducted an experiment back then, and what happened on the plane was just the beginning. This made Peter want to leave this dreadful place even more. On the other side of the scene, John's body was being transported to William's company. John was pushed into a room. This concludes the first episode of the first season of Crisis on the Edge. Will Peter stay? Who was John really working for? We'll continue the explanation in the next episode. Alright. If you want to see more great movie explanations, please follow me. Bye bye.
Yeah.